Welcome to our short handover guide. For those of you who are experienced boaters, we hope it will be a reminder of the important points, and for those new to boating, it will give you an idea of what is ahead of you. Throughout your time with us though, please remember that we are happy to answer any queries you may have. This is a general introduction to our boats, to give you information about how things work and where to find them. Individual differences on your boat will be explained at the after arrival, and there will be a list with each boat manual with the specifics of positioning. On each boat, you will find a detailed instruction manual, either paper or digital. This tells you everything in this document, plus a bit more. If you have a problem, work your way through that manual. If you haven't found the answer by the time you get to the end, you will find our contact details on the back page. Ring the office during normal working hours, and there is a mobile number there that is answered after hours. Problems can often be sorted over the phone. If you need us, please give us a ring. Locking and unlocking the boat. All of the boats are accessed initially by unlocking the front door and then unbolting the rear door to give access through to the back deck. To leave the boat, bolt the rear doors from within. Leave through the front door and lock behind you. Starting at the front. There is a water fill point at the front of the boat. Some have a slotted top, and there is a key to open those at the back of the boat. There is a hose pipe in the front of the boat. The water points are marked on the maps. Some are locked with a CRT padlock. The key to the padlock is at the back of the boat. Fill the boat up with water daily, to ensure that the day you can't find a water point isn't the day that you run out of water. Most of the boats have their gas supply in the front locker. A few of the cruiser stern boats have them on the back deck. There will be at least 2 bottles. One is on and one off. If you run out, turn the one that is off on and the one that is on off. Be careful with putting the locker lid down. It is possible to catch fingers under it. If there is a 3rd bottle, it will not be attached, and if you need it, you will have to use the gas spanner which is hanging on one of the bottles. Ensure the empty bottle is off. Unscrew the fitting. It is a left-hand thread. And then screw it onto the new bottle and turn the gas on. Without the heating running, you are unlikely to need to change a bottle. If you are concerned about gas usage, please give us a ring in the office to discuss. We can give advice on whether you need to buy a replacement bottle while you are out. Inside the boat. Most of the boats are front lounge layout, although there are a couple with a rear lounge. Next to the door is the TV. Reception can be very patchy. You may need to rescan for channels each time you stop, using the setup menu on the TV. There is a smoke detector and CO detector on the boat. There are 3 fire extinguishers on the boat, one at the front steps, one at the rear door, and a 3rd near the galley. There is also a fire blanket. The advice in a fire situation is to get out. No firefighting. In the galley. The cooker has a flame failure device, so the gas will stop flowing if the flame is accidentally blown out. All the boats are equipped with ignition devices, but there is a pack of matches if you have a problem. The cold water tap has a carbon filter, so the water is safe to drink. The fridge will be on, set to around 3. If you set it to a higher number, it will use more electric and create a problem with excess ice in the freezer compartment. In the bathroom. The water from the sinks and basins goes straight out into the canal. The water from the shower also goes into the canal, but needs a pump running while you are showering to take the water out. There is a shower pump switch in the bathroom. Set that running as you start your shower, and remember to turn it off when you finish. The pump does not like dry running. We have 2 types of toilet: macerators, which are operated with a button beside the toilet, and gravity toilets, which are operated by the foot pedal. Please ensure that the foot pedal returns to the mid position after use, which stops the water running into the toilet. For both types of toilet, nothing down them but toilet paper and what you have eaten, and not too much toilet paper. Anything else will quickly cause a blockage, so no sanitary products and no wet wipes. We suggest keeping the toilet lid down to reduce the possibility of anything falling into the toilet accidentally and causing a problem. There will be a £100 charge if the toilets are blocked through misuse. The holding tanks should have capacity for at least a week, although well-trained narrowboaters use the pub whenever possible. The macerator toilets have a gauge which will indicate the level of the tank. If you have concerns about needing a pump out, please give the office a ring. Heating. The heating is either a diesel-operated system or gas. There are specific instructions for your boat in the instruction manual. There is hot water available from the engine running. If you don't need heating, you can just set the engine running in the morning to top up the hot water. If you want the heating running, you will need to start the boiler. On the boats with diesel heating, this is a simple rocker switch or pull button. Once the heating is operated, it has a 20-minute start-up cycle and should be left to run through that before the button or switch is touched again, or it may disable the system, requiring an engineer reset. The gas system has an ignition system similar to a domestic boiler. Turn the button to the star symbol and push down and hold for a count of about 10 seconds, which is establishing the pilot light, and then release and turn in one fluid moment. You should hear the boiler ignite and run. If it doesn't ignite successfully, the ignition will start ticking. At this point, turn it off, wait for 5 minutes to allow the flame failure thermocouple to reset, and then try again. The boiler should give a good level of heating if set at around 4. The thermostat and circulation pump controls are on the wall, either at the front of the boat or in the bedroom area. Once you have the boiler lit, set the temperature control to a comfortable level and use the slider switch on the top to set the circulation pump to run. Heat exchanger. The boats are equipped with a heat exchanger which takes heat from the engine running and circulates it throughout the boat. The heat exchanger should only be on while the boat is running. Turn it off an hour or so before you finish cruising for the day to ensure you have a tank of hot water available. Electric panels. At the back of the boat are the electrical control panels. For the 12-volt systems, which is the lights and pumps, there is a board with a number of trip switches. So if anything stops working, have a look to see if any of the switches have tripped. Your 240 electric is supplied by an inverter, which takes powers from the batteries, which are charged while your engine is running. You will need to do 6 or 7 hours engine running to ensure you have enough power to keep the fridge running overnight. In terms of electric usage, please check with staff if you have brought any electrical items with you. Laptops, phones, cameras are all fine, but we suggest charging during the day while the engine is running. There is a hairdryer on board. Please use that rather than one you may have brought with you. These systems are generally very reliable. If you have an electrical problem, give us a ring and we should be able to talk you through it. At the rear door. Here at the back of the boat, we have storage for your tiller bar, which we ask that you store safely whilst you are not on the back of the boat. Your CRT key, which unlocks the water points and operates electric lift bridges. Then there is the anti-vandal key, which is needed on some of the Birmingham locks, and the pump-out key, which you probably won't need, but can also be used to open the water filler cap. The engine room. In order to access the engine room carefully, lift the deck boards. For a short break or a week, you should undertake a visual check of the engine room morning and evening. For longer breaks, we will ask you to do some checks, but they are listed in the boat manual and we will talk you through them. The weed hatch. At the rear of the engine room is the weed hatch, which gives you access to the propeller. You only need to go into the weed hatch if you have something caught around the prop. The symptoms of that are an unusual noise from the prop, or the boat suffers from a loss of power. First, try putting the boat into neutral, and then reverse, in the hope of throwing anything around the prop off. If that doesn't help, then take the boat to the side, moor her up securely. Turn off the engine. Remove the keys from the ignition and put them safely out of the way. Then, unscrew the bar at the top, remove and put to one side. Then lift and remove the weed hatch and put it safely to one side. Put your hand down into the water. There is a 3-bladed prop below the waterline. Remove anything that may be fouling it. It is usually a plastic bag or something of that sort. Occasionally, you may find you need help to remove whatever it may be, in which case, please phone us for advice and assistance. Having removed the obstruction, replace the weed hatch and resecure with the bar. This is very important to prevent the boat from sinking. With the engine board still up, start the boat and operate forward and reverse to ensure that there is no water ingress from the weed hatch. Then put the engine boards back down and resume cruising. Starting the boat. At the back is also the engine control panel. This has a number of warning lights and a warning buzzer. If any of these warnings are on while you are cruising, please contact the office. When the engine has not been in use, you will need to use the heater element. Turn the key to the heater, which is indicated by a light coming on. Hold for 20 seconds and then turn the key to the start position. When the boat starts, let go of the key and it will stay in the run position. Do not turn the key back to the off position. Once you've turned the key to begin the start procedure, the alarm may sound. That alarm should stop once the boat is running. If it doesn't stop, rev the boat using the throttle, and that should stop it. If it still doesn't stop, please contact the office for advice. When the engine is warm, it should start without use of the heater. Once you are on the back deck, be careful where you stand. Take note of the arc of the tiller. There is a potential that if the helmsman needs to react suddenly and push the tiller over, someone standing in the wrong place may be knocked overboard, so stay in front of that danger area. We ask that you don't travel on the roof of the boat. Bridges can be lower than you might expect, and keep off the gunwales of the boat while she is moving. If you have not done this before, the use of the throttle will be demonstrated. Please remember to leave a moment for the prop to stop turning when going from forward to reverse and vice versa. If you are too rough with the transfer, there is a danger of snapping the coupling. which would require an extensive engineer visit. Outside the boat on the roof there is a boat hook, boat pole and a boarding plank. The boat hook is for dragging things out of the canal. The boat pole is for pushing off if you get stuck in the mud. The boarding plank is useful if you cannot get moored close to the side. The boat has 3 ropes, front, back and centre. Keep these tidy when not in use and remove knots as they happen. The boat has fenders, which make mooring more comfortable. These should only be down for mooring and up on the roof when you are cruising. You don't need them down in locks, they will just get ripped off. No mooring at water points, near bridges, on bends, on lock landings, or where you will be a nuisance or difficult to see. If you have not cruised before, we will meet you at the locks to demonstrate safe locking procedures and will accompany you along the canal to ensure you are comfortable with steering. Whether you have cruised before or not, please review the Boater's DVD to remind you about safe operation of the locks and general boating behaviour. Always leave the locks with the paddles down, gates shut, unless there is a boat entering as you leave. While you are operating the locks, always keep a tight grip on the windlass and remove it from the spindle when the catch has been put on to keep the paddle up. The windlass can be dangerous and fly off if the catch becomes loose. Please keep your speed to 4 miles per hour, a sensible walking pace, and slower past moored boats. If people are shouting that you are going too fast, you probably are. Please slow down. No cruising after dark, please. Novice boaters. If you have not cruised before or would like information about any of the following, these will be demonstrated before you start cruising. Engine room and weed hatch. Use of centreline. Setting off and steering. Safe lock procedures. Please take the time to look at the Boater's Handbook and accompanying video. All boaters. We hope all is clear. We would much prefer to talk you through the boat individually. However, current conditions mean that we are trying to give you as much information as possible before arrival and on the boat. Please ensure that you are confident about all aspects of the boat that are described above. If you have any concerns about any aspects, please ask and we will do our best to explain. Once you are on your way, we are only a phone call away and many problems can be dealt with over the phone. What is important is that you enjoy your holiday. Have a lovely time.